everybody, and welcome here to another Kerfuffle webinar. And I am absolutely excited and delighted to have with us today a massive new addition to the Kerfuffle family. Really pleased here to have Jem here today, Jem Savas, and Ben Waldron from Plentific. How are you both?
Hi, Simon.
Hi, Simon.
It's
great stuff, good stuff.
Great
so, guys, we've been talking off air, talking previously there, and one of the things that I was really keen to get straight off the bat there is just give us a bit of background about the business, so that people understanding and watching this are going to get where you guys come from. Would you mind just giving us a really brief kind of elevator pitch of where Plentific has come about?
Yeah, absolutely, Simon. Thanks for having us. We started this business being property developers and ex-finance guys, and we were landlords. We worked very closely with many property managers in London, and had to deal with tenants, had to deal with property managers, had to deal with contractors, repairs, and being landlords. Found it a bit difficult to solve that technology piece, like the transparency piece, the data piece, the end-to-end experience. And so we decided to launch a platform, and thinking about how could everyone in the value chain get the best-in-class experience, and how can we connect data and make it really transparent what's happening. And I always felt that as a landlord, I had great agents helping me, but then things happened that weren't that transparent, and that created friction in the relationship. And the tenant didn't have that app in their hand to book the repair or get feedback on things. And that's really, 8 years ago now, 9 years ago, when Plentific came about. We've been focusing heavily on the housing sector initially as a market. We're with the largest brands out there. We have very well-known clients who have 50,000 plus units, 100,000 plus units. We're in the mid-market space, and we have smaller clients as well that manage smaller portfolios. And over the last few years, we expanded into Germany as well, and we also have a US business. And PRS is sort of our newest sector in the UK. We have many PRS clients in Germany, and now also in the UK, we have around 370, I think, PRS clients already that use some of our modules. So it doesn't mean they use everything yet, but that's a little bit of a summary.
That's great to get that feedback. And I mean, I think that's a really important point here, isn't it? Is that where I get really excited about this is that we've always challenged ourselves to look and see who are the exciting players that are coming into this marketplace who can really make a difference. And you guys, some of the stats that you were throwing over when I asked you to identify standout stats, there's 950,000 managed units there, 18,000 vetted contractors team of 303 worldwide, 93% first time fix. These are all fantastic things that you're bringing to the fore, aren't you, in the residential space? And I think that's hugely exciting for the people that are going to be your clients going forwards.
100%. I think something that what we're offering more than just a piece of tech is something that's tangible, and that you said 18,000 vetted contractors. Being able to sort of tap into those and monetize it for your business is really just a game changer. It's not just a bit of plug tech that you can put in and go with it. It's having something that is at your fingertips to help you out of a difficult situation, or to speed something up, or a USP or whatever. Is something that can't be easily done, and so that's where we sort of have our USP.
I think, Simon, on the numbers, we've grown significantly quickly, and we also have a big team now in place to continuously develop new and innovative products to improve the platform. I think when we talk about vetted, the real difference of vetted for us is that we educate, we digitalize contractors, we help them use the platform, and doing that really in a marketplace concept, as well as connecting single contractors, enables us to fulfill repairs voids at speed that is unseen, and which has huge implications for property managers and letting agents, because we help them save time, we help them get works done quicker. Involving landlords and what's happening is very transparent. They can see it, they can get a great feeling that they're property managers at the cutting edge of technology, and they use a strong local network. And a lot of agents have great relationships already with contractors, but maybe not necessarily as technologically enabled to show that. And because we on the platform have the vetting fully digitalized for all kinds of works, all including out of hours and emergency works and so on, that allows us to give best-in-class resident experience, because everything can be pushed back into the resident, which ultimately gets that end-to-end experience really streamlined.
Really interesting. And and apologies for being gauche, but this is me always racing towards the money shot issues here. How does Plentific then help agents win more instructions? What is, somebody sat here at the moment, they're in short supply out there. How is Plentific as a company, as a solution, able to help?
I think when if you're going out on your MA and your landlord gets two agents over and they're both trying to sort of win a fully managed instruction, having that little bit of competitive edge over, but I think there's a sort of maybe a misconception that sort of landlords would think that agent would do what's right for them, not what's easiest for them, not what's right for the landlord. Yeah, and so I think being able to, something our platform does, which is responsive quotes. So you can get up to 5 quotes for a work order that can be sent to the landlord, and the landlord can choose which one, right? You're suddenly giving the power back to the landlord. It's not just, I'm going to choose what's easy for me. I'm actually going to consider you as my client. And that just gives a bit of a more personal edge over your competitors. Say, any sort of medium to large works, will consult you. You choose the price. That literally does give that little bit of extra to help win the business on a.
Yeah, just adding to what Ben is saying. Speaking from a landlord's perspective, I'm a landlord. I use property managers, and oftentimes the competition is fierce to win a piece of new work.
Absolutely.
And when you go to a landlord and say, well, I'm going to do a great service, and this is my price for it. As a landlord, I say, so what's your service? How are you gonna be better than the other guy who's next to you on the street, right? Like, is it just on price, or can you actually prove that you can do a better service?
How do you stand out? Yeah.
How do you stand out? And this is how you stand out, by saying, I'm going to be the best agent that will manage your property in the most advanced technology advanced way. And even further, I can show you the data, and I can show you through the platform what's going on with your property. And so you're taking away the uncertainty around the end of the year rent not being the same as it should have been. You're taking the uncertainty away, like, did you get multiple quotes or not? And how did you choose that contractor to do it, and so on. So I think that is a competitive edge. As a landlord myself, would appreciate if someone, would pitch to me and say, hey, and the biggest impact on your rental yields will be the unknowns, right? The unforeseens, the boiler breaking down, and maintenance issues. And I will show you that we are the best in handling that for you.
Look, I'm a techie evangelist, so I'm always going to come at this. But what that transparency obviously puts back, it gets rid of all of that, as you said, the concept that there are deals being done in smoky rooms, isn't there? It's kind of, money.
The brown paper envelope.
What you're doing is democratizing that process, isn't it? Via those works orders, people, it doesn't really matter in whatever walk of life. If you present them with one option, they're always going to push back, aren't they?
Exactly.
So that's a lovely angle there to be able to say, look, guys, here's what we believe are the best options here, but ultimately the choice is back for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, letting agents, I think, always struggle to be transparent of what they do, right? They do a lot of work for, frankly, small fees. In my view, they should make more, but it's difficult to do that. But so being a landlord, having used many different agents myself, I can see what they do, but it's not always transparent. And so if you can be transparent, that is the winner, in my opinion, because I can judge myself as a landlord. If something breaks, if it's real, if it breaks, you got 3 quotes, then you got 3 quotes. That's all I'm asking you to do. And you're telling me exactly from whom, and if they were good, when they're coming, and scheduling. And then my tenant can review that and say, yeah, that was a great job. And I'm happy as a landlord, right? So I think it's all about the end-to-end experience. It's all about the data collection. It's all about the transparency. And I think agents that adapt more and more technology will be able to win more business for sure.
Absolutely perfect. I mean, Ben, you'll know Peter Knight, obviously, one of the best in the business, and he's forever talking about making the invisible visible. And again, this is just reiterating that, isn't it? It's
yeah.
If you can get that across again to people, everyone's going to be a winner.
I learned a fact recently from a study of 1 in 6 landlords have been hit with an unexpected bill that they hadn't budgeted, and then suddenly 300 quid's come out of their monthly, and that's their income. So and they weren't realised because the agent hadn't informed them, because they've got so much to do and so much, and it can easily slip under the radar. So having that transparency and clarity, then landlord doesn't necessarily mind, as long as it's A, it's fair, and B, that it's they're informed. Excellent. Right, and then they can budget, then they can feel heard and empowered. So
perfect. Well, that makes that very clear to me. I can certainly see how any good agent could make that, as Seth Godin says, the purple cow standing out from the others and making that clear. But there's another angle here, isn't there, as well? So can you talk about how you help make the agents more compliant as well?
Sure, go, Jim. Yeah, you go, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, we have a complete compliance suite of products, and in our compliance suite, we automate all the compliance requirements needed from a building perspective, so gas servicing, electrical servicing, fire risk assessments, and so on, that might be part of an agent's offering to a landlord. It's a dashboard that tracks it all. It's a dashboard that triggers all the work that needs to be done to be compliant. It triggers the works to the right suppliers automatically, no matter in what region you are. So you don't have to figure out anymore who you send this piece of work or who not. We can offer service providers to help you do the gas servicing in a regular way, and help you with that. So from a sort of compliance perspective, we help our clients to have a complete view on where they are across the entire portfolio, and when it's done, how it's done, and help with the whole process as well, right? So we build the service provision in, we engage with tenants if our clients want that module to enable them to open the doors when the guys are coming and so on. So yeah, I mean, we are not just looking at repairs and voids, but we have a compliance suite. We have an inspection product that is very customizable, and I mean, you probably know about the TouchRight acquisition. They're on your website already on the platform. And so we acquired that business for a very good reason.
Great business, yeah, lovely business, great people.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're doing now is helping our clients to not just do the inspection in a very new way, but then say, what are you going to do with the outcome of that inspection? What's going to happen to the tasks? What's going to happen to the work orders? And now we've integrated that business, you can get the work done. So no more double keying, no more moving that information with a PDF to a contractor. You can just push a button, you get a couple of quotes, or you just book a surveyor or whatever it is you need, and that inspection is sorted. And then it's a fully end-to-end embedded solution for our clients.
Everything works back to a work order at some point. So keeping it in house and keeping it a single flow, as Jem says. At the moment, I think in the prop tech world, there's loads of softwares that do a lot of things, but not necessarily all talk to one another, or and there's a double keying scenario, or great, you get your inventory report, but there's a hole in the wall and you need a plasterer to fix it. So having that sort of the link, having it all together, really sort of gives greater transparency on wider projects.
What you're telling me, Ben, is you're going to be the architect of Kerfuffle's doom, because all of our half of what we do for agents is all of these different businesses, and you're coming along and getting rid of those. And so thank you very much. That's really kind of you. But I think while sobbing inside, let me just let's put a bit of a voice on that. Every single time we go to the marketplace, every year we do our reviews with suppliers about with agents about what they find frustrating with suppliers, and they've always shocked themselves as to actually how many different suppliers they actually have. And this is purely on the whether it's on the sales side or the letting side, and just in the property part of it. That's ignoring all of the normal stuff you need, like car fleets, telephone systems, and everything else. you know, on average, our research tells us that the average agent has 20 different suppliers. And that's a staggering amount, isn't it, really? To not just in terms of, first of all, how do you Jenga style tie together all of those different, you know, those different elements there, the lack of efficiency that comes where there is the need to rekey between different systems and have them talk to each other. But secondly, is just on a really human fashion, that's a lot of different relationships to be having and with different suppliers. And you can't really double down on that, can you? And get really close to just one provider where you might get an economies of scale.
Exactly. Yes, you end up paying, you know, quite a lot for the same property and the same thing. So that's certainly our big picture and where we see it, because it all, when it comes to maintenance, they all ties in, and it can get quite complex, especially when you're managing a project. You know, it might be there's quite a lot of people and compliance and inspection. It all falls into one big project, and it can be quite you know, difficult to keep an eye.
That's great to hear that. We'll catch up with you over the coming months, obviously, as well, see how that's hanging together, and see what efficiency savings that people can get. Because what I do like talking to you guys about is, although there is obviously such a core, brilliant technological aspect to what you do, all the time you're not talking from an ivory tower here. You're talking about very much about how you can help the people be more efficient. And I think we were spending a bit of time just talking about that off camera, weren't we? Where, you know, you have plotted that whole life cycle of property on this side of things, and you've looked at that property manager in the middle and then said, how do we actually make their lives easier? And that's a wonderful, quite simplistic, I mean, it's complex to do, but it's a wonderfully simple vision, isn't it, to focus on?
Yeah, I mean, this is such a competitive edge that we can offer to our clients, because, you know, the understanding of their business is to the detail, to the process step on our platform. We have people every day that look at numbers, look at performances, they look at contractor behavior, they look at tenant feedback, and we go in and then start giving our clients advanced analytics dashboards where all this information is shown in a really beautiful way, so they can make the right decisions in their portfolios. And we have for larger enterprise clients, we have a consulting business. We go in and help them with change management, where client says, look, your operating platform is, you know, what we want to do going forward, but I don't quite know how to do it because I've been using like old school delivery models. So we go in and help them with that. So we have a very deep understanding of every person's integration into the end-to-end experience. And we don't see ourselves as a company that, you know, targets letting agents. We see ourselves that is looking at the real estate sector and wants to build a platform as a service, a platform as a network effect solution. So we are trying to solve these pain points end to end. And so we are pretty much looking at, you know, what letting agents, what housing officers, voids managers, compliance managers tell us every day, and improve our solutions every day by seeing their pain points and not just selling a software, right? So everything we build is built for all of our clients. So it is a platform play for sure. And to your question earlier around having 20 different systems, we probably never will be as one singing, dancing solution in the future. But what we are doing is saying to our clients, look, if you have a platform play and your data, your information is on one system, maybe connected to your CRM or ERP or whatever you're using, the integration of new solutions can go through a single platform. So we are the gateway to other prop tech solutions. We've integrated a bunch of them. We've done lots of integrations with existing CRM providers to get that data sync together. And we see our task very much as innovator and plugging in what our clients ask us in the right way, because we already have the data. We already have the workflows. So we are the ones that go back and buy out an inspection product to say, you told us that inspections is a bit of a headache, right? So I'll solve it for you and then you can use it. So we become a bit of their digital partner in a way on the journey of digitalizing real estate.
And that's what people are after, isn't it? I mean, I think you mentioned that you've got with obviously my old Mob Repeat, you've got integrations with SME, obviously Professional Agent OS, Acquaint, and many others there. What's your kind of policy just on the CRM front? Have you got very much a can-do attitude that you'd like to integrate with other CRMs, or is it kind of on a case-by-case basis?
I mean, being a newer company, we see data as the key differentiator, right? So the client, it's the client's data. It's not a CRMs or ERPs or our data, right? So we want to do what's right for our clients. And what's right for our clients is a fully integrated data flow from supplier to supplier to supplier, no matter who it is, and making sure that that data is enhanced and is in a place to the best advantage of our clients. So in that way, we are API driven, open, webhook driven environments. We have done over 43 integrations this year alone, because we operate in 3 countries. There are different partners in different countries. We've integrated with very small companies. We've integrated with large players, like you mentioned, and other sort of big ERP solutions like SAP and others. And absolutely. And, it's not always easy, as you might know. There's always a battle of like, why should I work with you kind of thing. But my real strong belief is that clients are desperate for people to connect in the right way.
Absolutely, categorically.
And, we are pushing the boundaries for sure there. We have a big API team. We have a big platform team. And everything we do is say, how will this information flow from one place to another to make sure that if a work order gets raised in one CRM solution, it flows into Plentific seamlessly. When the invoice is done, maybe it needs to go back into a finance system. How do we push it back in there? So there's no manual task. And that makes our clients' lives much easier.
And Jem, just going back to it again, this is one of the benefits of you not being a brand new business, where obviously you're fighting for every bit of resource here. As a massively established company already, you have got that ability, that resource level of being able to have API teams can't be overstated, can it? Because that is the things that make your clients different. I laughed a little bit when you said that data isn't your own. I mean, then I had to correct myself. That's what I used to say to people 2 decades ago. But we've all changed now in the CRM world. We accept that is their data, and I think one of the things that I like about it again is it was Josh Fegan, the well-known Australian trainer. He was over last week with a load of the very best agents around the country with the Property Academy for Members Day, and he was striving. The key element of what he was talking about time and time again was about looking at your own businesses and trying to look at where possible you can get to the frictionless experience. And that's come up in a couple of occasions, hasn't it, here today? You've been talking about that very clearly, that willingness, and Jenny, you vocalized it really well there before, that it's almost like some people don't even know where their own processes might be broken, because this is the way we've always done it. Snapping people out of those bad habits can have a real benefit to them, can't it?
Yeah, I think maintenance is just something that has to be done. It's a second thought, because it's not really perceived as revenue generating, or say it's a sort of an afterthought, when actually it can actually be something very, very beneficial to the business if done right, and as say allow you to manage more properties for less, and as say other USPs. So looking at all types. Yeah, it really does.
And I mean, there was a little wry smile there as you said. Obviously, it can. I mean, but being really honest, it can be extremely lucrative, can't it? But it can be. It doesn't have to be almost embarrassed about it, because you can deliver a much better service as well as still making that revenue, because you're able to do more, aren't you? And to guarantee that better level of kind of.
100%. Yeah, it's no secret that a lot of agents will add those sort of markups, and having those, and to demonstrate actually that you're pushing the price down means that the landlord is saving money as well as you making revenue. So everyone's happy, because as we all know, when we've got something fixed at home or something, we get three contractors in, and the quotes will vary from here to here. So we're just taking that chunk and monetizing it for everyone.
Ben, if you're telling me I can have my cake and eat it, you know I'm going to be expecting that as a message. So that's, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I think obviously Matt Goddard as well, and of course he was my protege, and I got to know him when he was head of suppliers at Foxtons, and I remember just being taken into Chiswick Park there, and was kind of like it was to me back then the Willy Wonka, and the way that they had those efficiencies in place, the way that they work these supplier things. It seems to me that lots of businesses are going down that same route now to make this really work, as you said, for all parties.
Exactly.
I mean, if you look at the real estate sector, right, not even letting agents, but they obviously include it, we're still not very advanced in how we're perceived as a sector by tenants, by landlords. We're still perceived quite backwards, right, and quite sort of untrustworthy, a bit sort of not very transparent, and we just have to break through that, because we have some great companies being letting agents. We have great ways of finding tenants and so on, but like it's all down to people not seeing how to use it to their benefits, right? The technology. So yeah, I think I mentioned ordering a pizza is easy now, ordering a book or whatever on Amazon is easy now. Why can't we do that with real estate? And I think that's what we're working on, right?
I think it's a really good goal to aim for, and as well. But the challenge has been, of course, when I've looked at this before and tried to look at the underlying reasons where that lack of trust comes through. And of course, a large part of it is that obliqueness, because actually lots of the process is quite complicated. And so by definition, it's going to take technology like yours to kind of, again, that point about make the invisible visible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at CRM systems, they all have work order management or like contractor plugins and but we need to go to the next level, right? Like if you ordered a taxi before through an app, you might have gotten one or not. Now there are 3 or 4 different app providers that you can instantly book it, right? So it doesn't mean that because there are CRMs in place with those work order functions that's the best we can do. No. And that's why it went in from our own pain points, having different property managers, having different properties, saying how can it connect better? And you need to own the digitalization of the service providers, of the contractors, the surveyors, all those people. So you can do the end-to-end, right? And you can really manage that in a better way. And I mean, the transformation we've seen with some clients has been phenomenal on both cost side, on property managers being able to manage a lot more properties with the same time they have, so they're more efficient, they can earn more money that way.
Further afield as well, in areas.
We have a client that has been scaling their business through us because they have now supply chains available to them, so they don't have to find their own contractors, they don't have to do their own vetting. They just access it through us, so they can start promoting their services in a new city, for example. So there are lots of benefits if you do it right, but as you say, it's complex, right? And as a business, I
hadn't thought about that ability, literally to kind of get into new marketplaces without that whole, what would have traditionally taken such a long time to build up those relationships, is another key angle you can bring in your kit bag, isn't it? That's really interesting. That's really interesting. And I mean, what would be wonderful? Let's talk over the coming months. It'd be great to talk to some of those clients and understand some of those case studies that they're getting back, to hear it from the horse's mouth, as it were. Because no doubt at all, that sounds like the sort of stuff that anyone's going to be interested in. And just give us a flavour then. What's the kind of value that you're going to be able to bring to Kerfuffle members? That we've got that efficiency thing, we've got the compliance. Is there anything else I'm missing that we're going to be able to do?
I mean, with something we did see. Obviously, we've learned a lot. It being in the social housing sector and doing the volume, so we can look at the numbers and things. And I think clearing bottlenecks was a big one. Because sometimes you'll have an end of tenancy, and all of a sudden your contractor is off sick, or he's busy for the next 2 weeks, or you've got a rush to find someone and to get it back on to get the next tenants in, right? So it's lost revenue there. So clearing those bottlenecks, we saw from our housing associations, we managed to sort of reduce it less than half, in the sort of average times when we looked at the numbers. So keep having that ability there is a key one.
And it's only going to increase, isn't it? So the wonderful thing is, you know, I can't believe actually it's taken us this long in before I make reference to kind of big data or anything else like that. But as you are getting more and more of this data, more and more of these analytics, you can start to benchmark and make assumptions, can't you? That's going to actually continue to deliver kind of information, that actionable information to your client base.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And, you know, we are able to tell our clients how they can improve their processes in real time, like not even like every month where we have to talk to you, but they just see it, right? They log in their analytics tools. We're starting to recommend what you can do to improve your business. And yeah, as I mentioned, you know, we have clients who've grown significantly through us because of that. And, you know, TouchRight is obviously on Kerfuffle already, and so we have members who are using that. And you know, the value benefit we bring is very much thinking about how we can improve their businesses going forward, right? So with TouchRight, we now integrated it. So we have the first clients going through and saying, oh, we have just done an inspection, I need the work done. So easy, Plentific pops up, you get the work done, job done, right? So there is a constant innovation happening here. Like I mentioned, we are 315 employees now. So quite a decent size in a very short period of time. And we see a lot of workflow every day to understand what works, what doesn't work, how can we improve, where can we innovate. And, you know, we always talk about a puzzle piece at Plentific. You know, we're a very small puzzle of everything we want to do going forward. And so, you know, if you work with us, you're going to get updates on our property labs, on innovations. We have lots of webinars. We invite clients in, talk about their pain points. And it's a true sort of digital partnership that we run here. So very much looking forward talking to more of Kerfuffle members.
Great. Well, I encourage anyone to obviously pick up, because what's happening there as well, it seems to me, is that you've got a huge amount of resource there in terms of like the human resource focused on a, you know, quite a narrow area as well. So you can specialize in the way that, let's just say, the CRMs are kind of they're specialists in generalism, aren't they? They've got to be across the entire gamut of every part of it. But to a degree, that kind of leaves themselves spread a bit thinly, whereas you can do a deep dive and start to deliver some real added value.
Absolutely. And that's what we do with our clients, right? We plug into existing ERP, CRM solutions. Because we don't offer everything that a CRM offers, but what we do offer is, say, we have digitalized the contractor world. We understand workflows in detail, also from the contractor side, how they manage their people, how they want to schedule. What does a first fix mean? How do you come back? How do you manage a void project? It's more complex. We've gone quite into detail and sort of built that into the platform. And, you know, payments is all built in. We have thought through really the whole flow, and that creates a lot of efficiency for our clients.
Great. And you mentioned a couple of times about reducing the void. So that's an aspect of very much you focus on, is it, for your clients?
So voids is one module that we have, and there's basically a project management tool in Plentific, like a voids manager. And basically build an inspection before, after, and then that creates your void. In the void, you can say what needs to be done and walk through and have it collect the data digitally, pictures and so on, and then raise the work order for either directly to the contractor relationship you have, or go to marketplace and get multiple quotes on the void. And because we have so many contractors, you get quotes immediately, you know, and then you can push the button saying, go get the work started.
You're not waiting around for anything as traditionally you would have been.
And then you're also tracking the void work on Plentific. And then when you're done, if you like, you can do another post void inspection and go into the property, say, yeah, this has all been done nicely. Look at this property, and guess what? You can share it with the landlord if you like, to say, this was the process. How awesome is this?
It only takes one chain of a contractor to be ill or off or not working or delayed to hold up the whole process. You know, we had a meeting earlier that said, well, the pipe leaks, you need the plumber then to fix it, then the plasterer to replaster it, and then 3 days later you need someone to paint it. Right? You see, and that's just one example of a whole moving parts that needs to be run as a well-oiled machine.
So I feel a bit cheeky asking you after you've told us how much you're doing and everything else, but what does the future for Plentific hold? What have you got on the horizon at the moment that you can tell me about, of course?
Yeah, I mean, we think very much around the residential and commercial space. So we have a few clients on the commercial side, but we're expanding into the commercial area. We are building out more and more workflows that we can cover through the platform, not just repairs and voids and compliance, but we're working on an asset management module. We're working on plant maintenance and IoT implementation, so we can also look at preventative maintenance for our clients, and working out further and further how these services get booked, how you can fulfill them. That's sort of the core of what we do. And clients are, as you probably know, asking us for new modules and going deeper into the tenant.
Clients never stop asking for stuff, do they?
Clients never stop asking, and yeah, we've got a lot in the pipeline already, but there's a lot of ideas of how we can embed partners into the platform, how we can build things ourselves. But we are dealing with tenants, we're dealing with property managers, and we're dealing with suppliers, and there's a lot to be done around around those three stakeholders.
Yeah, and that's a really good point as well. Just to reiterate that, I kind of joked about it, but actually having some of those really high profile clients that you definitely have there as well, or as I used to call them, high maintenance, but that's in the best possible way, really, because they have the highest standards, don't they? They expect the most. But if you have an ethos of listening to those clients, that's going to keep you ahead of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I love complex clients and difficult clients because they are the ones who usually have grown significantly as well, right? So they are requesting a standard from you. They have a lot of requirements, and oftentimes they also have a lot of opportunity to improve their operations. Yeah. And so we're in a position to say we can help you with that, and you also have a big business, so we can grow with them. And we have started the wrong way as a young company. We went to the top first and worked with the largest, who are the most complex: housing associations, local councils, lots of different demands, and we learned a lot there. And we have a way to, I think, line up what enterprise means, what mid-market means, what SMB means, and we like a challenge, and we also have no problem telling our clients, look, we don't think this is the right thing to work on, or we don't think
that's as important as that's really important, isn't it? There's only one thing more dangerous than a company that says no to its clients all the time, and that's one that says yes to them all the time. Sometimes challenging them and asking, why do you want to do that? It's really, really important to do your job in the best possible way.
Absolutely. And we challenge our clients all the time, and they sometimes say no, and we feel like we need to do the same, right? And there are preconceived ways of doing things in real estate, and we sometimes say, why do you do it that way? Can we not change it?
We've always done it that way. That's always
we've always done it that way, and there are good reasons why it's done that way, and we leave it alone. And then there are good reasons to say maybe you change it. And so I think ultimately for us, our client is what I call the consumer. And consumer in our case is everyone. Is the tenant, is the property manager, and is the supplier. Yeah. And I know we're talking to letting agents here, but the way we see it is like it needs to improve everyone's life. It needs to make the property manager's life more efficient and make him more money. It needs to make the contractor's life better and make him more money. And it needs to make the tenant's life better because we're sorting out issues that they face. That makes the landlord happy. And so that's how we think on a daily basis.
Excellent. So I've made a few notes here just in terms of a few takeaways from kind of listening to you guys. So first and foremost, you provide local jobs for local people to ensure a fast turnaround really within that proprietary marketplace that you've got. Those 18,000 quality vetted tradespeople is a really key first element of what you have to do. Secondly, those agents that decide to work with you can get a competitive advantage, can't they? That ability to share multiple quotes and maintenance, giving pricing transparency again can be a really, really key way of showing you've got their best interests at heart, as it were. And then I think the final part for me is really with Plentific's data to hand aiding themselves, you've got a single source of truth there, haven't you? That gives them real-time information, visibility and accountability. And through that platform, agents can really start to make really, operational decisions and indeed cost savings decisions that's going to help them and their landlords.
Perfect. Spot on.
If you
That's a
disagree
good
with me,
summary. Yeah.
that would have been really awkward.
No, that's a great summary. Yeah, absolutely.
You've got that completely wrong, Simon.
Yeah, no. I think there's, you know, the having the one source of truth, you know, with the contractor, you know, sector is you know, always he said, she said type, you know, scenario, and I think that's key is you know, trying to digitize what is a very non-digitized sector. It's going to
So
be.
guys, I mean, first and foremost, anyone watching this, obviously sounds like you know, if you're looking at efficiency, you're looking at how can you stand out from the crowd, you know, how can you get the economies of scale? First and foremost is you've got to pick up the phone and have a conversation with these guys. But before you do that, make sure you go to Plentific on kerfuffle.com and see further information about them on there. And then what's the best thing, Ben? In the first instance, reach out to you and in that full top style and just find out a bit more.
Book a chat. I don't bite, you know, and I'd love to sort of hear and show them the system and talk about how they do things. It's, you know, it's a very.
Have we got a Calendly link or something for you, Ben?
Yeah. All my calendar is open and is yeah.
Well, we will pop that onto the thing at the end as well for anyone that needs to talk to you. Jem, Ben, today, thank you so much for explaining to me. I feel like I know a lot more about it and look really forward to obviously seeing people give us feedback on that as well.
Thanks, Simon.
Perfect.
Very nice.
Thanks, Simon,
having us.
Cheers. Take care.